please, don't try anything that you're about to see us do at home. Ever.
On this scatological episode of MythBusters.
Oh, man.
It's all about idioms, as the team takes on those phrases we all take for granted. Is it really best to hit the ground running? Or to end with a bang? And for the coup de grace,
I know it shouldn't be a surprise, but it smells terrible.
Adam and Jamie will attempt to polish the unpolishable.
Incredible.
Who are the MythBusters? Adam Savage.
I look good, right? I look damn good.
And Jamie Heineman.
Oh, great. We got a Yeti outside.
Between them, more than 30 years of special effects experience. Joining them, Grant Imahara.
Oh, my God!
Tori Galechi.
Say hello to my little friend!
And Carrie Byron.
You're better than a robot!
They don't just tell the myths.
Bye-bye.
They put them to the test.
So, we're doing idioms. Do you have any?
I do, actually. At Industrial Light Magic, whenever we were working on a model that required a lot of detail and yet was still ugly, we referred to the process as polishing.
So, the myth is, you can't polish.
Exactly.
That one's been around forever. I've heard that all over the place.
I got a wrinkle, though, because the network has instructed us that we're not allowed to use the word...
Can we say...
Of course not. Nope. But to set your mind at ease, we can say feces, manure, guano, dung, waste, scat, doo-doo, poo-poo, and poop.
Pedants that we are, we've put common idioms to the test before. We've dared to question the culpability of bulls in china shops.
They're very careful of the break in China.
The trouble with finding needles in haystacks. And the ease of shooting fish in a barrel.
I think he's still squirming.
But this just might be the toughest task of all.
So where are we going to start with this poop polishing?
Well, I think we're going to need the widest possible array of dung that we can find.
A veritable smorgasbord of fecal matter.
And then see if there's any specific kind we can get to take a high polish.
Okay, let's get at it.
From here, the best place to find a truly broad selection of dung is the San Francisco Zoo.
But we're just about to go into the barn containing a bunch of giraffes, or as we on MythBusters like to call them, the large herbivore savanna-based feces production units. And hopefully they're going to have some special packages just for us.
But you can't expect something for nothing, so the boys come bearing fruit.
We've got some breakfast here.
This girl refuses to take Adam's banana. No surprises there. Jamie has better luck.
She's beautiful.
And breakfast begins its magical transformation into manure.
Okay, now you've eaten. Let's see the other stuff. So it turns out that giraffes are really efficient at extracting the nutrients they need out of the food they eat, unlike things like elephants and other herbivores that live in the same environment that are basically like cows the way they process. The giraffes extract every last little thing, out of the food, and that's why you end up with this dense little nugget, which tells me that it might be better material for us to work with.
But giraffes aren't the only donors.
Grizzly dung. Let's go get some.
Armed with scoops and buckets, they need to steal the scats of a bunch more species to give them the best possible chance of busting this myth. If one stool won't take a shine, another might.
So there's no bears around here, I take it.
Hey, Jimmy, over here. Oh man, this stuff is soft.
It's kind of like meatloaf.
I know it shouldn't be a surprise, but it smells terrible. You know the worst part now? I got an itch on my nose.
The Grizzlies get set free as the boys move from stink to stench.
Warthogs.
Well, right out of the gate, I see we're in luck.
Look at that.
Holy, that's a lot of poo.
Oh, wait, look.
Oh, it's all in a string.
It's like it could be a necklace. We just have to polish it up.
They race to secure the manure from half a dozen more animals, including lions, rhinos, and koalas.
I think we got everything we need here.
Oh, you're full of it. Let's get back to the shop and start polishing.
Okay.
Now, to test a myth with momentum.
All right, so what's next? Well, we've got another myth that will likely result in you getting hurt. Great.
Awesome. What is it?
Okay, you know the phrase hit the ground running?
Yeah, that's the term when somebody is like already up to speed before they start a job.
Right. Well, what we want to know is if you literally hit the ground running, do you get going any faster?
I like it.
Yeah, it sounds dangerous for you.
When the phrase surfaced in the 1890s, it was meant literally. So all the more reason to put it to the test. We'll move on to wheels in motion, but kick off with fast feet.
Tell me you can test this.
I think we need to start out with a harness to keep us suspended in the air so we can get our feet moving before we touch the ground.
We should probably also add some forward momentum to see if that has any difference on the experiment.
Wait a minute, that sounds like we're all getting hurt, not just Tori.
Welcome to my world.
And welcome back to Trapeze Arts. This is where our 3 thrill seekers once tried a 360 on a swing.
Oh my gosh, that's enough!
The teams commissioned an indoor zip line to help launch the legend. Meantime, they'll need some baseline figures to see if this phrase has legs.
Well, I think we should start out with a control run from a standing start, let's say 30 feet, and then time it.
All right, then we'll use our harness rig so that way we're up off the ground. We'll start our run, and then when we're dropped, we'll be in mid-stride, and we'll see if our time is any shorter.
30 feet's a short sprint, but that's the best way to test this idiom.
It's 30 feet right there.
Any difference between a standing and a rolling start is likely to be measured in fractions of a second.
Let's go! Let's go! Come on! Get those shoes on! Get those shoes on!
Tori's the first to run his 3 standing start control sprints.
On your marks, get set, go.
Tori consistently clocks just over 2 seconds.
2:11.
But those tiny differentials might make all the difference.
All right, who's next?
Now, Carrie and Grant post their own times.
I'm ready.
On your marks, get set, go.
That was cute.
It was cute. I like the way she hit the bag.
Then Grant steps up to the mark.
On your marks, get set, go.
Grant figures out the average time for each runner. That's the mark they'll have to beat. And now for the fun stuff.
Okay, hit the ground running test. Let's go with the plan.
All right, so the trapeze is set up. Eric's gonna lift us up so our feet aren't touching the ground. We're gonna start moving our feet. As soon as we hear go, we drop down and start the run.
Tori takes flight as Carrie takes fright.
Personally, I think hitting the ground running sounds great in your head if you're thinking in cartoons, but in real life, I have a feeling it's going to trip you up and, well, we might see some face plants.
We live in hope. After the break,
Setting new standards in coolness.
it's bad poetry in motion. And a cordial dispute
Because I didn't think your IQ was that low.
between 2 best buddies.
I don't see the problem.
Are you hearing this?
Adam and Jamie have gathered the droppings from 9 different animals to see which, if any, buffs up the best.
Those babies would hurt coming out.
Back at M5, Jamie marks up some tinfoil trays and finds a novel use for earplugs.
They work for your ears. Maybe they work for your nose, too. Okay, here we go.
Once the poop is partitioned,
Oh, man.
every sample gets roasted. The theory is that dry dung is more likely to take a polish.
The whole point of baking the scat at 300 degrees for 6 hours is not just to bring out the flavor, but also to get out the moisture, to harden it. While it's regular poop, there's no way we can get a polish on it because it's soft.
Baked horse manure looks way too flaky to take a polish. And the same goes for elephant, rhino, and grizzly dung.
We got 5 out of 9. That's actually pretty good. Let's see what we can do. Where do you want to begin?
Adam's a stuttering mess, but this is uncharted territory. They'll need good instincts and a strong stomach to choose the right sample and the right method. Jamie picks,
Giraffe dung.
while Adam tries.
Lion feces. And I'm going at it with a bit of 320 grit wet dry sandpaper. And honestly, it seems to be going swimmingly.
So I'm actually getting a nice little shine on this puppy. I'm doing that just by adding a little bit of water to the table surface and rubbing it around until it kind of flattens what material's already there out into a nice surface.
Giraffe pellets do seem to have polish potential.
The finishing touch on this is going to be to add a little bit of oil, just like you would put on your furniture that you've got nice and polished, and that'll keep it shiny.
Meantime, Adam goes high-tech with a jeweler's wheel.
Terrible failure, that is, right there.
Frustration turns to exasperation as Adam learns that Jamie's using furniture polish.
You are obstinately ignoring the spirit and the letter of the myth by using a wax-based polish.
This is about polishing. There's polish. I don't see the problem.
You're imparting an artificial shine. You might as well just spray paint it. You're adding a material, and the material is what's getting you your shine, not the poop itself.
Proving you can polish a poop is a big ask, so it's no surprise that the hit the fan.
It's a wax. It helps get a shine on it.
Well, I guess we've left Tori hanging long enough. He, Grant, and Carrie are testing the literal truth of hit the ground running. Just like the control sprints, they'll all try this running drop test 3 times. And here's the highlights.
Go.
The way I was picturing it is really cool. I probably look really cool in the high speed on this one.
Hanging, set,
I haven't reached maximum velocity yet.
go. Go.
I have to say that was pretty awkward. And it wasn't really like hitting the ground running so much as it was hitting the ground stumbling.
Wow, that is the most graceful thing I've ever seen in my life.
Eye the tiger, Grant. Eye the tiger.
More like Eye the Kitten.
You can't help notice that hitting the ground running looks a lot clumsier and a whole lot slower than a standing start.
I'm under no illusion that was probably a slower run.
I almost didn't see her pass.
Mostly from all the awkward flailing around that left me in a strange position by the time I hit the ground to run.
Go.
But the stopwatch never lies.
On average, the 3 of us were faster hitting the ground running
There's no way.
by an 1/8 of a second.
Now we're going to do a test, hit the ground running, but with forward momentum. I think this is going to be a much better test.
Sliding in on a zip line, they'll hit the start line at speed. By any standards, this must be the ultimate way to hit the ground running. But will it be faster?
Well, it's hard because it's like if your foot is not in the right place when you get off that trolley, you're gonna go straight on your face.
Maybe that's why hit the ground running isn't actually a good thing.
So Carrie follows in his floundering footsteps.
Run, 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 run.
Run, yeah!
That's not so easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Time for Grant to strut his stuff.
Come on, keep going, finish lap. When your legs go in the air, the trolley starts rocking. Suddenly you can't tell where the floor is, and I hit the floor, and things just went all wrong.
I just don't think that there's any way that this idiom works whatsoever. I just don't think you're ever going to get a significantly better time by running ahead of time. I think it's crazy, and we should just stop saying it.
But Carrie and Tori finally did seem to hit that mark at high speed. Still, it all comes down to those fractions of a second.
Running in the air with the forward momentum test is a 1/4 second slower than planting and running.
Really? That's a surprise.
So the jury's locked on the literal truth of this popular phrase. Surprisingly, falling was faster and swinging was slower. So what say we replace legs with wheels?
Hey, how about a bike? I like bikes.
Oh, we know your track record with those.
Next up, Tori dons the yellow jersey,
All right, I'm ready.
while Jamie and Adam go back to basics.
So the goal is to make Jamie's moped go away. I can tell you're trying to send a message, but I can't figure out what it is.
It's an idiom we've been exploiting since the very beginning of the show.
Really? An idiom? I can't figure out what... You gotta tell me.
Better to end with a bang.
So you're suggesting that we end the idiom special with a bang?
Exactly.
That's brilliant! Let's get out of here.
Sure, we always assume it's better to end with a bang, especially on MythBusters. Today, we'll put the predictable Big Bang up against a spectacular slow burn. But first, well, we'll have to blow something into tiny, tiny pieces.
So, ending with a bang. What are we going to blow up?
You know, normally we blow up really big, spectacular stuff. I was thinking, what if we blow up something small and piddling, but in a spectacular way, like your little moped there?
What, this thing?
Yeah,
I love it.
let's do it.
Ensuring no one goes home with 9 fingers or 1 eyebrow, Frank Doyle and J.D. Nelson.
So the goal is to make Jamie's moped go away.
Dead cord.
Det cord, alias Primacord, a.k.a. linear explosive. It might look like a clothesline, but the core of this flexible tubing is compressed powdered explosive.
Yes, for today's bang, we have chosen a vintage mobilette or moped, which we have wrapped carefully with aged primer cord, several hundred feet, held together with duct tape and ignited with the blasting carbide thrust. It will be fabulous.
All right, it's beautiful.
But beauty sometimes needs a helping hand.
Well, I'm not one to let well enough alone, and the task we have is to go out with the bang, so I'm going to add some gasoline. This is a technique we learned when we were doing the Hollywood explosion, and if you take a look at this footage of me pretending to be my own action hero, you'll see what kind of explosion we can expect from this.
3, 2, 1!
So Adam adds even more fuel to the fireball. When a demolitions expert laughs like that, it's time to run for cover. At least the boys have a bunker to hide in.
Okay, everybody ready? Yeah. All right. Ends with a bang. Firing in 3, 2, 1.
Wait. I just realized this is ending with a bang. And we're still in the middle of the episode. We can't do this at this point. We've got to go take care of a whole bunch of other stuff and then come back here.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's go.
Carrie, Tori, and Grant have been testing the truth of the idiom, hit the ground running, to see if it really is faster than a standing start. The results were surprising and inconsistent. But where feet failed us, wheels might provide the answer. We'll end with a car, but start with a bicycle.
You may remember this bike from Drive Shaft Pole Vault. We have a very interesting relationship, me and this bike. I'm okay. I need to be able to get this bike up to speed without it touching the ground. So I'm going to build a rig that will hold up the back wheel.
The hit the ground part of this phrase means the bike needs to start suspended.
What I need to do next is make the release system. So that way, once the bike is up to speed, we can quickly release the back wheels. It'll hit the ground, and we'll see what happens when we hit the ground running.
Adding extender foot pegs to the back axle, Tori modifies the mechanism to drop on demand.
Go ahead.
3, 2, 1.
Yeah! It's gonna work!
Out on the test track, Tori sprays the start, while Grant marks the finish line, 100 feet up the tarmac.
Then we'll stop the timer once we hit the finish line, and we'll do it 3 times. That way we get an average time from our standing start.
These first sprints wouldn't scare a retired mailman.
Excellent.
But for the sake of consistency, Tori needs to wear a safety suit for each and every test.
It's just riding a bike. I mean, how dangerous could that be?
Yeah, but this is not the dangerous one. But when you're suspended in the air, pedaling as fast as you can, then it gets dangerous.
Ready, set, go.
As with the running tests, they average the times from 3 standing starts.
Go.
What's the time?
6:68.
Go.
And the Tour de Tori passes without incident.
6:34.
I got a better time.
But we all know that once you learn how to fall off a bike, you never forget.
Now we're going to move on to our suspended test. Tori's going to be on the bike, suspended above the ground. He's going to pedal as fast as he can, and then we're going to release him and see if he's any faster.
My prediction for the next test? 3 words. Crash and burn.
All right, I'm ready.
But is he? If history is any guide, Grant should have 911 on speed dial.
Set, go.
Pathetic.
Keep going, keep going! 8.72. Not very good.
Ready, set, go. Oh.
Try as he might, Tori just can't, well, hit the ground running.
Once he hits the ground, there's so much friction, there's so much weight there that it just immediately stops, and he is basically at a standstill.
All right! Dude, hitting the ground running sucks.
This was just like when we were at trapeze arts and we were trying to catch with our feet. It's really hard to, well, hit the ground running.
10.09 seconds. Just to remind everyone, Tori's control run was just under 6.5 seconds.
Clearly, the friction between the road and the falling rear tire stopped the wheel dead and unbalanced the bike. So, far from proving an advantage, this test is going backwards.
Your average hitting the ground running was 9.27 seconds, 2.8 seconds longer than the control.
That's not good.
It's not looking so good for hit the ground running on a bike. But we can't stop there. We still have a car.
Yeah, let's ramp it up.
All right.
Coming up,
This is so much fun.
a Japanese solution to shining a stool.
Does it bounce?
No. Please, don't try anything you're about to see us do at home. Ever.
Adam and Jamie are testing the truth of that delightful idiom, you can't polish you know what. Adding to the unpleasantness, Jamie's use of furniture polish provoked a scat spat.
I mean, it's ridiculous. I just don't believe it. I don't believe it. I'm interested as to whether or not these things are actually polishable, not as to whether or not I can add something to them to achieve a shine.
But he'd sooner strike a light than curse the darkness.
Hello, sir.
Adams enlisted Jason Arnold to explain the Japanese art of dorodango, shaping shiny balls from common dirt, using only your hands, tap water, and patience.
This was made out of just some soil found in my dad's backyard. Then I wanted something nicer, so I went and got just a nice dirt mix that didn't have a bunch of junk in it. So.
Wow, these are great. Yeah. Can you teach me how to do this?
Absolutely, yes. I'd love to teach people how to do this.
Let's do it.
All right.
The boys dish the dirt side by side. It's a proof-of-concept cooking lesson that hopefully works just as well with manure.
You know, usually on the show I'm connecting to my 14-year-old self, the pyromaniac. Now I'm connecting to my 4-year-old self.
You're looking pretty good there. I think you could start to pick that up and get your hands dirty.
All right.
They need a